Hello, everyone, and welcome to 3-Minute Warning.
That's the show where we take 5 of the hottest topics in sports and break them down into 3 minutes or less. My name is Michael Medina. With me, as always, is my good buddy, David Griffin.
We're also joined by Stephen Fox up in the booth, our producer, making it happen. Say hello, Stephen.
What's up, guys?
We get right into it today, talking about some NFL. Deflategate will just not go away.
No, it's back.
Gronkowski had a few choice words for that. You can go on YouTube and look up, or any of the news sites, look up Ron Gronkowski. There's Gronk in the Super Bowl.
Gronk angry.
Had a few choice words about the kids. Not mean words about the kids. I guess he was at some type of fundraiser. And he's complaining that the press, no one's asked about the kids and about the fundraiser. Everybody's asking about Deflategate. And then he went on to say something about his muscles and then said, these nuts, which he is definitely going to get. Anytime you use the word nuts in reference to your genitals, he's definitely going to get fined.
Genitals? Okay, because he could have been referring almonds.
He could have been almonds. You know, Gronk's a big guy. He's got to fuel up. He needs the energy. No, I think he's going to definitely get fined. What's going on right now is this big report. It's like a over 200-page report that's out right now, has basically spelled out that the Patriots were aware, Tom Brady being one of the Patriots that was aware that these balls were being deflated. There's Tom Brady with the lovely Giselle, his wife. You know, Tom Brady's got it all. He's got 4 Super Bowl rings. He'll be a future, first ballot Hall of Famer. But he's got Deflategate now. Now, I doubt that's going to be an asterisk next to it. It's not quite like, I don't think it's as intense as steroids, but this could be, if he gets caught, this could be in trouble. This could be big news.
No, it's definitely going to tarnish his legacy slightly.
Yeah.
He's done so much up to this point. I don't think people are going to look at him and be like, oh, well, those 4 Super Bowls and all the records
balls
and
were
everything,
deflated
those
a little
don't
bit.
count.
Yeah.
Those don't count. He's going to be just fine. But this is going to hang over his head a little bit. But ultimately, I think, give it like 5-10 years from now, it's just going to be an afterthought. No one's going to really care.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are getting a little tired. No, I see a lot of Patriots fans online talking about loving Gronk's, basically video. Like, I love Gronk, this is why I love the Patriots. I'm like, yeah, you guys could be getting in trouble as a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of happy about that. I wouldn't mind seeing Brady. I don't feel bad for Brady. Brady's got all the money in the world. He has 4 rings. He's got a lovely family. Brady is not poor. He's not doing, if he sits out for 6 games, he's going to be okay. He's not going to have to go, collect food stamps or something like that to help feed his kids.
True.
So,
but it's going to affect the Patriots, though, if he's gone 6 months.
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
That's a shame. Go Buffalo, #1 in the AFC.
Now's your time to shine.
Yeah, time to shine. Michael, is this, we talked about a little of this before, is this a big of a deal as, say, a steroids case would be in baseball?
No. I'm sorry. It's laughable. I mean, it's fine. Maybe it affects you're passing someone. I don't know. But you're talking about steroids, performance-enhancing drugs. Performance-enhancing drugs. Deflating balls don't really enhance your performance in what you do on the field and everything. Maybe he gets a better grip on the ball, I suppose. But you're taking, banned substances, in baseball that is, to make you stronger, make you faster and all that stuff. It really is cheating, basically. Not saying that this isn't cheating. I just think it's not as severe. I think people are blowing it out of proportion.
What do you think about Gronk's rant? Gronk's little homemade video with his cell phone.
I agree. He's going to get fined. I laughed, especially towards the end. I love that one line. It's like, oh, you can't, he's going to only inflate these. It's like, oh, it was great. It's typical vintage Gronk, but it was funny.
Gronk's funny. It's hard not to love Gronk. I'm a Bills fan. I still love Gronk. He's hilarious, so I'm kind of glad he made that video, even though he's going to get in trouble. We're going to keep with the NFL. More controversy, but we're going to go talk about my Buffalo Bills. I am so happy that Buffalo, they're in the headlines. We're making news.
My team's relevant.
We're relevant.
Yes.
I mean, even it has nothing to do with we haven't even, had a single down with LeSean McCoy and these new guys, but we are in the headlines. LeSean McCoy speaking out. Look at him, he's preaching up there.
Yeah.
Preaching the good word.
I don't know if he's preaching the good word right now.
Talking specifically about his relationship with Chip Kelly in an interview he did. There he is with Chip Kelly. Happier times. But LeSean McCoy called out Chip Kelly saying he got rid of all the good black players. And saying that there's a certain way he wants his team, and it's not with as many black people as he used to have. And Rex Ryan, funny thing is, Rex Ryan's who's a coach of the Buffalo Bills now, used to be the coach of the New York Jets, is kind of saying, I give my players freedom to say what they want to say, which, as we know in this day and age, with Twitter, not the best thing. Granted,
it's not.
What LeSean said wasn't the worst thing in the world. You know, I mean, maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. But you got to be careful.
The thing is, still, that's like a ticking time bomb right there. Because I mean, what you're doing right now, you're really setting these wheels in motion. I mean, that could be, because what he's basically saying is Chip Kelly is a racist. Basically, it's what he's saying. Getting rid of all these black players immediately. I'm not saying there's any truth to it. Honestly, I gotta feel that there isn't any truth to that. You know what I mean? I honestly think it's coincidental. But if you're
Chip
Rex,
Kelly had African American players on his Oregon team. I mean,
yeah, I just think it's coincidental. That being said, though, with Rex Ryan, on one hand, I agree. You want to give your players some freedom of speech. That's wonderful. Don't think for a second, though, if you do something that upsets LeSean McCoy, that he won't turn around and fire back at you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You want to try to nip this in the bud ASAP and take care of that, because that's, I mean, guys haven't even played it down for you guys yet. You don't want that kind of negative
Hopefully he stays
publicity.
healthy. Because we haven't, I mean, LeSean, we know he's a good player. But he did leave. He left the Philadelphia Eagles kind of under bad terms. Not that he did anything wrong. It's just I think he felt a little bit betrayed by them. And they said he convinced. Well, DeMarco Murray went there. What was another running back who didn't go there? I think he told him like not to go or something. So I mean, he's been kind of fueling the fire.
Yeah.
You know, putting down Philadelphia.
That's the
Eagles.
thing. You don't want to do that, especially if you're LeSean McCoy, who had a down year last year. You know what I mean? So he definitely has something to prove. So instead of focusing on all this stupid stuff, he needs to work on his game a little bit more.
I hope he's busy training. I know he's doing some radio interviews. He's loving Buffalo. Rex Ryan's embracing Buffalo. It's kind of cool, again, to see us in the news. Maybe not for the best stuff, but I mean, compared to Deflategate, this is minor stuff. But yeah, I agree with you, Michael. I think you have to be careful because in the future, you know, football players go into Twitter, they get on the Facebook, they start going to social media saying some things they probably shouldn't say. So I think Rex, hopefully he'll have a talk with LeSean and be like, okay, we appreciate your enthusiasm and your love, and I don't mind, because Rex can trash talk.
Yes, again.
But he's also the head coach. And it's different with the head coach. You can put a lot of pressure on the head coach in your organization, but the players
Kind of comes with the territory. It's part of the job.
Exactly. So hopefully he'll watch out for that. I'm rooting for my Buffalo Bills. What do you think of #3MW here at the stream.tv? Let us know what you think about LeSean McCoy's comments about Chip Kelly. Next topic, we are going to NBA. The playoffs continue. Probably, well, all the series look like they're pretty solid, especially now with Memphis coming back on Golden State. But I think these two series right here are my two favorites, the Clippers versus Houston Rockets and the Chicago Bulls versus Cleveland Cavaliers. Last time, first game around, both visiting teams won, taking the advantage. Now, both home teams won. In kind of a similar fashion. The Chicago-Cleveland game, sorry, Chicago, a little bit of a blowout for the whole game. They were kind of dominating. It wasn't really a close game. I think LeBron and Kyrie responded.
Yes, I think what happened in both of these games really is what we kind of expected would happen. We didn't think, neither one of us thought they were going to be blowouts. No. These were going to be teams were going to sweep. We knew that they were going to be really hard-fought series. And like with the Bulls game, Bulls-Cleveland, the Cleveland responded the way they needed to respond. They needed a big game from LeBron because with Kevin Love out, with J.R. Smith out, they needed somebody to step up. They still need somebody else to step up besides LeBron and Kyrie, but we both knew that those guys were going to have to come through, and LeBron had an amazing game.
Yeah, 33 points. Kyrie adding another 20 points or so to the mix. Chicago, we'll see. Rose, 14 points. Kind of. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It's hard to tell with Rose. You know.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like Cleveland, for whatever reason, the Bulls have had a hard time with like turnovers this postseason. They exposed that. They put some pressure on them. If they can keep doing that, they could win the series.
Yeah. The Houston game though, very exciting. Clippers looked like they were going to win. You got to give the Clippers a lot of credit. They lost this game.
Yeah.
But they almost won. I know almost is not almost a win. W's a W, no matter what. If it's 1 point, if it's 50 points, W's a W. But without Chris Paul, they've done very well. That's not good for the Houston Rockets because once they get Chris Paul back, that adds another 15 points, 10 assists per game. So you got to give him a lot of credit. I will say
one of the most impressive players for me this postseason has been Blake Griffin.
Oh, he's turning it up.
He was always like, for the most part, most of his career so far up to this point, which is still fairly young. He was a one-trick pony. He could, dunk the ball, dunk over people.
We were talking about a few weeks ago about how I think when he first came, he had like 200 dunks in his first season. Now it's like down to like under 100.
Exactly, because he's worked on his game. He's matured as a player.
Got that little 15-footer.
Absolutely, and it's really showing because, again, in the absence of Chris Paul, he's really stepped it up. He looked great in this game.
He can dribble up the court a little bit. You know, I mean, he's really improved. I thought he was just going to be a big guy who's got some, like, Lob City.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, when he came in, vowed to change. We're not going to be Lob City. They still are Lob City a little bit, but not like they used to be. They're not just about the dunks. They have some substance. Blake Griffin, again, over 30 points, double-double for him. Great game. But Houston, a lot of their guys played really well. Harden had a great game. Even Trevor Ariza had a great game. Dwight Howard had a great game. Dwight Howard had a double-double. They came and they brought it.
You guys with double-doubles, actually. For you guys with double-doubles.
Yeah, for you guys double-doubles. That was huge. They needed that win. They needed to solidify home court, at least get one win. So now both series are 1-1 going back. So, Chicago gets to go back to Chicago, and then with Houston, they're going to go to LA right now.
And congrats to Jimmy Butler, NBA's most improved player.
Well deserved. Chicago doing something.
See red.
Doing something. Seeing red. Next topic we're going to go to is Champions League. Talk some soccer right now. Some good matches. Last 2 days we're in the semifinals right now. You have Juventus and Real Madrid playing, and then you also have Barcelona and Bayern Munich playing. First, let's talk about Real Madrid and Juve over there. They played in Milan over there in Italy, and Juve stepped up. They won 2-1.
They did.
Which is, it's good. I mean, Real Madrid get that away goal, but Juve won without Pogba, who's a great midfielder.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes to Chelsea next year. We'll see. Really good 22-year-old. Yeah. And it was an impressive win for Juve.
No, it
Very
was.
Impressive win.
Juventus is definitely seen as the weaker of the 4 teams that are currently in the semifinals right now. But nonetheless, they stepped it up at home. Now, it's going to be tricky when they have to travel to Real. Because Real does have the firepower to come back strong, because right now it's 2-1, so they're down.
They have an away goal, so if they score another goal, then they can go through,
They could easily do it. I can see this happening. So Juventus is going to have to really build and keep up with this momentum, and they could do it. They were impressive.
We could do it. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring his 76th UCL goal, UEFA Champions League goal, which is, top of the table, top of the list, the record, until yesterday when Barcelona played Bayern Munich and Lionel Messi. I didn't even realize Messi had tattoos.
He always wears long sleeves.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a sleeve.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that tattoo, I actually picked out that photo and actually got rid of it because I was like, oh, that must be like a Photoshop. I've never seen him without his sleeves on. I didn't know he had tattoos.
Yeah,
I had no
all
idea.
up on his arms.
Yeah, so Messi, tough guy, Mr. Tattoo Man himself from
guy.
Argentina, had 2 goals yesterday. Neymar scored the third. And, his second goal was just incredible.
I just love that little doink, and then just the Boateng just like
he
just
broke Boateng's ankles. He did the equivalent of a soccer crossover, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
He just tore it up.
Looked great.
What's really impressive, though, is that this race between Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi is just crazy. It's good. I mean, Messi was at 75. Cristiano was at 76 as of the start of the game yesterday. Messi scores 1, 76-76, scores a second, 77-76. Of course, their race is great. Cristiano has over 54 goals this season total. Messi is catching up with him. It's just a good race. I mean, they're Ballon d'Or, the ultimate football trophy, back and forth. Well, let's talk about Manuel Neuer.
Yeah,
Sorry, my German's not very good. Probably butchered the game. Manuel Neuer did an excellent job yesterday. He let 3 goals in, but he stopped some. It wasn't his fault.
Like there was the Suarez's attempt, and he just stretched out with his foot and stopped it. He looked great. He was also up for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
He was also up for that. He's a fantastic goalkeeper.
He's a defensive player, so
that's the thing.
Win, yeah.
So people don't really look at that. Right. Nonetheless, he's a fantastic player. He was great. He looked great in this game, but you can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean they played really well. I was impressed. But Bayern, they've had this little strategy. Bayern, the last 2 rounds have gone down, and they just tear it up, 7-1, 6-1, just tearing it up. So look out for them in the next leg. They go back to Munich in Germany, home field. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to count Bayern out quite yet, but Barcelona looks awesome. Last topic of the day. We're going to go talk about some UFC, but also just talk about athletes in general. Ronda Rousey was named by Business Insider as the number 1 most dominant athlete in the world.
In the world, yeah.
The whole world. The number 1 most dominant athlete. It's hard to argue. In Ronda's specific sport, in her specific division, she is dominant. There is nobody else. I mean, the last fight, Michael and I both watched it, she won in 14 seconds. Tied the record for the fastest, TKO in UFC history. So she is dominant. She is good. There's some areas in the list I don't agree with. The top 10's interesting. Like, they have Floyd Mayweather's at 14. I have a little bit of issue with that. Floyd Mayweather, all right, this last fight, Manny Pacquiao, everybody's got a little controversy about that because the fight maybe for some was a little bit boring. Some people, Manny's getting sued for $5 million right now because he was hurt. Yeah. People want their pay-per-view money back. Like I said, if I get that class action suit, you best believe I'm signing that to get my money back. No. But I think Floyd should have been at least in the top 10. Kershaw's in the top 10.
I will say the only thing I could agree with maybe leaving Mayweather out of the top 10, and this is just
because of his age, maybe? He's getting older?
No, I think simply because of the fact that the last few years or so, he's fought guys that were past his prime, their primes. He hasn't had those big fights. Now, granted, I'll give credit where credit's due. He's been doing what he's doing. I mean, he's been undefeated since the '96 Olympics. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like he's an amazing athlete. But the last few years, it's hard to say this guy is still that dominant when you're going up against guys, again, like I said, that are past their primes, and the fights are just, whatever. When you look at someone like Rousey, who's going up against some of the bigger names in her sport, and she's just laying waste to them.
Because I remember, they showed, we were watching the fight, they showed Rousey, the last time she fought, they showed the top 5, what's the ranking called? The top 5 contenders, basically. You know, the rank in the top 5. She's wiped them all out.
Yeah,
which is just crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's the only reason why they probably would have kept Mayweather out. But for the most part, the one thing I don't agree with in the top 10, again, I know Messi and Ronaldo, huge fans.
Yeah, was it Ronaldo 4, Messi was 7 in the top 10.
I would have to disagree with that simply because of the fact that I think Messi is a few years younger than Cristiano, and you look at like just how much Messi has done, and I think what he means. I think he's a little bit more of a team player than Ronaldo is, and I think what he brings to his team is a little bit more special, a little bit more important to what Ronaldo brings. Because especially when you look at a team like Real, that's just loaded with talent all across the board. I just think Messi is a little bit more important than Ronaldo is.
We're a team player, but this is also a dominant player.
That's true. That's true.
And I think
both guys
now
are dominant.
Ronaldo, and the only reason why I would say he's more dominant is because he has more goals, but then I don't know what his assist numbers are, so that also could factor into there. Maybe Messi has more assists. Because they're all weird. Like, the interesting thing about Ronaldo and Messi is they're not true strikers.
Yeah.
Would you think the strikers would have the most goals? Ronaldo's a left winger. Typically, he can go to the right wing, and then Messi's a center fielder, a CF, play a lot of FIFA. So it's interesting, like, they're not, but I mean, they're both dominant. What do you think of the list? Hashtag 3MW here at the stream.tv, 3-minute warning. Let us know what you think. I go with Ronaldo. Michael goes with Messi. Those are our views right there. That was our show for today. We'll be back tomorrow with our Clubhouse edition. AJ Lawrence will be joining us as always, so that'll be fun. And I'm David Griffin. You can find me on Twitter at GriffinDE.
And you can also find me on Twitter at Mr. Michael Alexis, and David and myself right here on the stream.tv and the Arrow After Show.
We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget also, Mother's Day is coming up Sunday. You know, be good to your mamas. Give them some flowers. Give them a little something, something. Take care of them. And we'll be back tomorrow with some more 3-minute warning.
Mother's Day is May 10th, and let me guess, you forgot. Well, don't worry about it. I got you covered. This year for Mother's Day, get your mom laid. I know what you're thinking. What's Dad going to say? Well, let's face it. Dad's 68 years old, and even with medical advancements, it's tough to trust a man that age to get the job done. Instead, let Kaimu Flowers delight your mother with one of these beautiful lays. Or, if that's a little much for you, why not treat her to an orchid spray? This Mother's Day, let Kaimu Flowers help your mom spend Mother's Day a tropical way. If you need help ordering, call this number right here or go to the website.